About 7 months, first of all, I'm going to give you a bit of a different twist on Fuckup nights. So try to be with me and see what you can take away from me. About 7 months to the day, my ex-girlfriend, who I actually believed I might marry one day, broke up with me. And the day she broke up with me, she said something that would change my life forever. She said, Guy, you know, remember the first time you said that you were in love with me? I never fully believed you. Not only that, I don't know if you're even in love with me right now. The issue was that she was right. At least the first time. By that point, I was already very much in love. In the weeks following, I would be able to understand how I failed in my first startup, my first nonprofit over the past 10 years because of what she said. And the crazy part about it was that in all of these endeavors, I knew it from day one. I knew when I started them, I knew when I got into them, I knew from day one something was wrong. But before I reveal to you this grand fuck of what it actually is, let me tell you how I got here today. When I was 12, my father died. When my father died, I created something called this hero complex. I had to be the best at everything. I had to be the man. I had to be successful. I had to save the world for the age of 12. And so at the age of 18 to 25, as you just kind of heard, I was in government and politics. That's why I thought I could save the world. And it was also pretty cool to say you work with Obama at 23 and the Prime Minister's office at 25. But in every position, again, something was wrong. I didn't feel useful. So at the age of 27, I left and I joined the private industry. Felt unfulfilled, and I started my first company, Rethink Pharmaceuticals, a biotechnology company focused on treatments for rare cancers. With no experience in business, and with no experience in pharmaceuticals, of course that was the right choice to go. I even took the CEO position. Ridiculous. And at that moment, I recognized for the first time in my body, something was wrong. It was the wrong choice. But I went on because it fed that hero complex. It fed me being the best. And for 1.5 years after that, we were plagued with problems. Problems with the team, with commitment, with fundraising, with my decisions. But we did it. We made it past the first round. I raised money. I built a team in the United States. I built a team in Israel. We even got close to a clinical trial. 2 years go into it, we're still plagued with problems, but on the outside it looks amazing. And I even bring in a new CEO, a VP from Teva. Huge! Looks amazing. And when I met with her, there was that feeling again. Something was wrong. She wasn't the right person. But I still went with it. I don't know why. Because she looked amazing, glitz and glam. And that inner hero, he couldn't be embarrassed. Because I was already considered this entrepreneurial guru in a lot of the startup world here in Israel, and I couldn't see failure as it was looking me in the face. 3 years we go through with this. Investors telling us we're building the wrong thing. Our team is still not committed. The CEO, definitely not the right person, even though with the right heart. And so one day I woke up and I left. No emotions, just left. But I was still feeling unfulfilled. And so, of course, the obvious next project is to become a film producer. That just makes sense. 2016, the elections happened, and I was so, from my government days, I was so distraught with what was happening, not about Trump, I was so distraught about what was happening within the American society that I thought, here comes the hero again, I had to save them. And so I literally raised $50,000. I built a team on the East Coast. I built a team on the West Coast. Yeah, okay. I built a team on the East Coast, a team on the West Coast. I went across the country for a year, filming Americans on finding out why things were falling apart. And then month number 8 hit. And I burned out again. And I crashed. The ideas stopped. The money stopped flowing. My motivation disappeared. Because I started it with the wrong intentions. So I go back to Israel. And now I'm going back to Israel, but with a new hope. Round number 3. Rethink the film, round number 3. What's round number 3? Love. I came back for a woman. And after 2 burnouts, that hero, he needed to be feeded. He needed success. He needed someone to tell him that I love you, I think you're perfect. And it was a beautiful relationship for a while. And she said all of those things. And we get back to the beginning of the story. But when she said, I never believed you to begin with, I was lost for the first time in 10 years. I had no idea what to do. And it took me a few weeks to realize that my failure was that hero complex put such a thick lens over all of my decisions, it made it impossible for me to listen to the person that said it's not the right CEO. It made it impossible for me to listen to my body, my heart, my soul, everything. And it really made it difficult to make the right decisions in what I was doing in my life and when I was making decisions within those companies. It took a 27-year-old, now I call her, angel, to shatter that hero. To make me deal with that 12-year-old boy. The past 7 months since the breakup have not been difficult because of the breakup itself. It's difficult because she was the 3rd time and she broke, not her, but the situation broke my body. It broke my mind. It finally made me wake up to say, Guy, it is time to start looking at a new future in the way you make decisions. Take off the lenses, remove the hero complex, start making decisions and listening to yourself. Don't be the hero anymore. Don't let those pushbacks in your body, don't let them go aside. Listen to them. Now, it's not easy to let go of 20 years of routine. But that's what I had to do. And I want to make a very, very, very important disclaimer. I don't mean that now all of a sudden when I hit a wall or a second wall, I give up, I change. I just need to find that balance between listening to myself and reality. But it changed my life. She changed my life. Some of the ways, just so you guys know, and maybe you can use some of them, some of the ways that helped me get out of this, things that you guys have heard about, deep therapy, meditation, not there anymore, mindfulness, yoga. I started doing dance therapy without music. I started sitting in the pain and letting it wash over me. I stopped ignoring it. I started listening to it, listening to myself. I started having conversations about trauma, speaking with my sister and my mother about things that had happened, and trying to understand where all these decisions the past 10 years were coming from. It's time to start listening to yourself. Since I've been working on removing that hero filter, good news, and listening to myself, I've made so many better decisions. I'm now working with a really good friend, a consulting company. We consult startups and nonprofits and social movements, and it is a lot of fun, and I am making, finally, for the first time, good money. The film, I reworked my intentions, why I was doing it. And the moment I did that, when I started speaking to people about it, I started raising more money instantly. $10,000 came in for 2 weeks of me being in the States. Things started to change in my life. I started re-engaging with government and politics. I'm now engaged in a lot of Middle East conflict projects, both from the grassroots level and the government level. But this time, as opposed to the first time when I felt useless, I feel now I'm changing people's lives. It's coming from the right place without those goggles. So I'll leave you with this. I'm okay to talk about all these different fuck-ups because I've started to release that hero. So I'm not here to sell you anything, pitch you anything, or teach you anything. I don't know anything more than you do. You guys all think that these entrepreneurs who are making it, and with that bio that I had, were something special. I know nothing more than you do sitting in your chair. For the first time I'm on stage, and I've been on many stages, and I'm me. I'm just me. This is just the story. That's it. It's not the hero that came on to impress you and to perform for you the past 10 years. Now I'm going to be able to do big things in my life because I'm coming at it from the right perspective. And I'm very excited about that. I'm no longer speaking as the hero. I'm not your hero. I'm not my own hero. I'm kind of just me. And I really hope that me being just me up here, you find value in this story. If you didn't, that's also perfectly fine. If it was just these 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, that's also perfectly fine. But in the end, it's just a story. It's just a fuck-up story. Thank you.
I'll take this forward. So thank you very much.
Sure.
I can definitely personally relate to that in many ways. And I'm sure, and I think what you said is so spot on, that what's special about these nights is that you're each going to take away something else from each of our speakers, and each of you is going to have some sort of connection to everybody else, so you're dead on that. So I will start off by asking, how do you define failure?
Oh, that's a great question. How do I define failure? The moment you lose all passion, the moment you say to yourself, you wake up every day, time and time again, that it's not right, it's not right, it's not right, and it keeps on coming over and over again, right? And when it happens long enough, you just feel it one day, and there is no answer, and you have to find that balance and listen to yourself and continue to push, because as entrepreneurs, you better push. There's no other way. But there comes a time, and for every person, it's individual. I have no answer.
And I hope the team won't get upset for me for saying this, but actually, we had a lot of people quit their jobs after coming to many of these events, including a lot of our team members. Exactly for that reason, that if you're not passionate about what you're doing and it's not something that excites you every day, you simply learn that that's not what you should be doing.
But I want to say something very quickly about passion. It can be dangerous.
Yes.
Passion is not a means to an end. It's not a motivation or a vision. Passion helps you get up in the morning. Passion drives you, but that's what drove me to start the film and to do all the other things. And it wears out quickly if you don't know why you have the passion or why you have the vision. So passion is important, obviously, also in love, but there has to be something grander behind it. You need to find what that is before you start something.
Word. Do we have any questions for Guy? Yes.
Can you shout it?
Yes. Unless it has very complicated words that I can't translate. Okay. There's a saying that success is lots of little failures along the way. Nahon? Okay. Okay, so she will question that, yes, she'll question that it wasn't actually a fuck up, that it was just a lot of small failures along the way and you actually succeeded. So I will ask the question, would you agree? And do you think that really you needed all of those fuck ups in order to ultimately get to your success? We only ask hard questions here.
Yeah. Sure, there were tons of, you heard them, there were tons of small fuck-ups. I never listened to myself, I made tons of wrong decisions, I never went to school for any of this stuff. yeah, there are a lot of fuck-ups along the way. You know, I guess what I believe now is that there are benchmarks, right? You have a bunch of fuck-ups. I love saying you have a bunch of fuck-ups, and then you hit a crisis point, or you hit some like a point of knowledge, where like, oh, okay. But again, so yeah, in the end, as long as you, I know it's very cliche to say, as long as you're believing in yourself, and you're doing what you want to do, and you wake up happy, I know it's a cliche, but guys, it's important. Yeah, it's a success. So now, yeah, I am so much happier with who I am. I'm grateful for her destroying me 7 months ago. I called her an angel in the spiel. Sure, but it took me, 10 years of, I wouldn't say all fuck-ups, but lots of learning experiences for me to know who I am better, so I can make better decisions, both in my romantic and my personal and my business life. I'm an answer to your question, but yes, I feel now successful in this moment in time right now on this stage because I am a more whole person, and I know my decisions moving forward will be better in all of the aspects of life. I don't know what that's going to bring. Success, financial success, personal success, no idea. But right now, I'm feeling better than I've ever before in the past 10 years.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys.